stick out Harry Neals for some residuals for that one.
From Birmingham, Alabama, 0X.
As the luck of the draw goes, this is a rather interesting scenario for Skeeter Frost as well as 0X, as both Frost and 0X have been involved in a number of contests with each other, but now they find themselves with the eyes of the Wildside wrestling world clearly on them to see if either of these two individuals can make it through 18 other guys in order to become #1 contender for the World TV title. As both men having some similar ideas as to offense here. And Skeeter trying to throw 0X over the top rope. No go. Skeeter hanging on for dear life.
A fresh participant enters this matchup every 60 seconds. And for the intermediate portion of the matchup, over the top rope rules apply only for the elimination. Now, when it gets down to the final two participants, goes into the rules of a standard wrestling match.
But since there's many participants here, one coming in every minute now, we're going to be dealing with a match that potentially could go half an hour plus.
Oh, yeah.
Mercy Skeeter trying desperately to get 0X over
10,
that top rope.
9, 8,
No go.
7, 6,
As Skeeter
5,
responds with a
4,
series of forearms.
3, 2, 1.
As number 3 makes his way. Here
Going
comes
number
Anthony
3,
Henry.
Anthony Henry.
Anthony Henry, one of the competitors of the Friday Night franchise, looking forward to his first opportunity on Wildside television to make a genuine name for himself. As Henry and 0X teaming up. A little cooperation. I'm not quite sure if that's what the doctor ordered, if you want to continue on all by yourself here, but for the time being, it just might work.
Double Irish whip here by Anthony Henry and 0X.
And 0X and Anthony Henry with a rock and roll style double drop kick on Skeeter Frost, and Skeeter seemingly might be, whoa! And Skeeter ducking out of the way.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
And Skeeter,
4, 3,
an in-ring
2,
moonsault on both
1.
competitors.
Going number 4, Preston Rage.
And Preston Rage, easily the largest of the individuals in this ring, which might give him a distinct advantage within this Mega Rumble. As Preston Rage certainly would have the power and the height to hoisting one of these three athletes over the top. 0X going over the top but able to avoid getting his legs on the floor.
0X and Anthony Henry now back in, taking down Skeeter Frost and Preston Rage here.
And the cooperation of 0X and Preston. Well, so much that the cooperation just ended good and proper.
For the Hungry Young Lions here, for the younger competitors in this matchup.
And these competitors
10,
unfortunately drew some very
8,
unfortunate numbers.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We'll see how hungry these competitors are. As here comes number 5. Oh dear.
Representing the NWA Elite and being accompanied to the ring by the World Television Champion, the role model Jason Cross, and attorney Jeff G. Bailey. He is the one-man mafia, Mikael Adryan.
And let me tell you something, Stephen Prazak. Mikael Adryan is not in this contest to win this match. He is here on behalf of Jason Cross and Jeff G. Bailey to keep everyone else from winning.
Well, I have no doubt. I'm sure that's what Jeff G. Bailey has in mind. And Mikael Adryan stepping over that top rope as it. Oh, good heavens! A big foot to the face of 0X. Big elbow leveling Skeeter Frost. Anthony Henry shoved down. Skeeter Frost is
Frost
out.
has been eliminated.
Anthony Henry throwing some fists at. Oh, good heavens! Anthony Henry out of the picture.
Anthony Henry has been eliminated.
Preston Rage trying in vain to throw a few forearms And Michael Adryan ain't budging. Preston Rage certainly did.
Preston Rage has been eliminated.
And perhaps the most idiotic move of this matchup so far. Oh my Lord!
Good grief!
And Zero X has been eliminated from the Mega Rumble.
The one-man mafia has cleared the ring. Bailey's plan is working.
So far it seems.
Michael Adryan wins the match. He wins it. He's the number 1 contender. He never has to wrestle Jason Cross.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So in other words, if Michael Adryan get an opportunity to go for the TV title, he wouldn't take it. Is that right? You're convinced of that?
I'm very convinced of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining
Bailey
number 6 is
so
Prime
in
Time
his head.
Teddy Fine.
And primetime Teddy Fine, who just showed you why you can't trust any professional wrestler named Teddy. He's just been leveled by the one-man mafia. And Teddy Fine over the top rope and eliminated just like
Teddy
that.
Teddy Fine has been eliminated.
Michael Adryan, as you pointed out, is here with a purpose, and that's to eliminate everybody in the way of Jason Cross.
Jeff G. Bailey is convinced these men that the only things in wrestling that are important is what he tells them are important, and he is putting enough money in the pocket of the one-man mafia, Michael Adryan, to make him forget all about wanting a shot at that belt.
That's funny, Jeff G. Bailey putting money in a pocket that's not his.
Ladies and gentlemen, Damien Dynamite.
And Damien Dynamite is not going to be manhandled quite the way that some of the other competitors have here this evening. Dynamite, a man who's got some serious size and musculature to him. Doing his best to get out of the way. Unfortunately, it's still not enough to stop
Ladies and
the
gentlemen,
one-man
Damien
mafia.
Dynamite has been eliminated.
A valiant try from Dynamite. But the one-man mafia, Michael Adryan, he is definitely a man on a mission here this evening.
Michael Adryan getting a little bit of a breather now.
Well, I don't think he's exerted too much energy so far here tonight, as only Damien Dynamite was able to get any offense in on the one-man mafia. But since every athlete comes in at 1 minute intervals, yes, that does give Michael Adryan plenty of time to gather his
10,
wits.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the Archangel, Gabriel, is participant number 8.
And now he's got some competition. The Archangel Gabriel, the man that dove off the ramp onto Adryan just last week, is here. And while he doesn't have the size in his favor, he knows how to fight big men like the one-man mafia. Gabriel's been in the biggest dance of them all before. He's been to the top of the mountain. The Archangel on the top. Double stomp to the back of the one-man mafia.
And that double stomp puts the hamstrings of Michael Adryan definitely at risk there. Boy, and a forearm leveling Michael Adryan and a senton onto the one-man mafia. And Gabriel, the proverbial house on fire, firing up on Michael Adryan here this evening. The chops are working quite well for the Archangel here tonight, as Michael Adryan is being rocked most
10,
successfully.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Gabriel
3,
able to suplex
2,
Michael Adryan. That's
1.
no mean feat.
Participant number 9 is Jason Blackman.
Jason Blackman now.
Boy, a picture-perfect dropkick with considerable authority and a blatant choke. Are there any other kind?
I wonder if Bailey slipped him a 20 on the way out.
Wow, Bailey's doubling up on his pay?
If it means protecting the role model Jason Cross, you know he's going to do it.
And a bit of a cooperation between Blackman and Michael Adryan. And if it means getting Gabriel out of the picture, obviously it's worth it. Oh, Gabriel in the worst possible position I think the Archangel's about ready to go sailing over that top rope. Oh, I guess not. As Jason Blackman drops a big
10,
leg
9,
under this suspended
8,
Gabriel.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, join number 10, Sweet Dreams.
It's Sweet Dreams now in the ring to even up the odds here. It's like he's going to try to help out Gabriel here. Of course, it is every man for himself. You never know. We do know that Sweet Dreams is the big brother of Caprice Coleman, and Coleman and Gabriel have a friendly alliance, so that's why I deduced that.
Going a high leg lariat.
And I was correct at least for the time being. Little shuck and jive action there from Sweet Dreams.
Followed up by an elbow that connected with Jason Blackman. Fists are flying to the head of Blackman. But I don't think Sweet Dreams realizes who's behind them, the one-man mafia. Bad news for Sweet Dreams. And bad news for his spine.
Power bombed out of his shoes and his
10,
cornrows.
9, 8, 7,
But Gabriel's
6,
still fighting back to the man that we know he is.
3,
Boy, talk about never say die.
1. Number 11 this evening is Chance Prophet.
And Chance Prophet, a man who's impressed many a wrestling promoter throughout the United States, and thus most recently in NWA TNA, sees an opportunity here to get at the World TV Championship. But he's got to go through Gabriel, Mikael, Adryan, Sweet Dreams, and Jason Blackman in order to do it. Best of luck, Mr. Prophet.
And this time, Prophet showing his face here.
Yeah, he was in the paint the last time, wasn't
Normally
he?
comes to the ring adorned in the black and white face paint, but tonight decides that he'll let his identity be known to the wrestling world.
Gabriel saw an opportunity to try to hoist Mikael Adryan over that top rope. But that is indeed one of the tallest orders in the business. And Sweet Dreams with a fist in the face of Blackman. Chance Prophet with a few and Mikael Adryan, and Mikael Adryan responds in kind with a high knee. And Chance Prophet, at this rate he's going, will be non-profit. Oh, I'm full of them tonight.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sounds like the feature presentation is about to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, the feature presentation, Jeff Lewis.
And Jeff Lewis successful in hoisting Sweet Dreams over that top rope.
Sweet Dreams has been eliminated.
And Jeff Lewis, we have not seen him here for a few weeks. If Jeff Lewis is able to keep his mind off
has
Jacey
been
North,
eliminated from the Mega Rumble.
if Jeff Lewis is able to keep focus on the card here at hand and keep his mind away from Jacey North, I think Jeff Lewis has a genuine chance of becoming #1 contender for the World TV title.
Certainly.
I really think so.
Certainly, but he's got to fend off the challenge of Jacey North. Jacey North, a man who's coming up later in this matchup, he didn't even enter himself into this contest until he knew Lewis was already in. Lewis is trying to move past Jacey North. Jacey North wants
10,
revenge for Lewis
9,
cracking his bald
8,
pate on that
7,
post out there.
6, 5,
Well, so obviously we'll be
4,
seeing Jacey North
3,
later on in this
2,
Mega Rumble.
1.
All right,
Wait a
now,
second.
whoa!
Boy,
Ladies and gentlemen, Jacey North.
and Jeff Lewis makes a beeline out of the bottom rope. Jacey North with a flying body press on Mikael Adryan and slapping the crap out of Jason Blackman.
Well, Lewis got out of sight. He got North distracted and stuck right up behind him.
And true to form, now Jeff Lewis now paying total attention to Jacey North. And North and Lewis fisticuffs aplenty between two people who hate each other perhaps more than any of the two athletes here at Wildside. Big chop from North, and Lewis is reeling. As Adryan and Blackman seemingly have Gabriel ready to be thrown over that top rope.
Boy, Gabriel's hanging on for dear life over there, Steve.
And North choking the life, what's
10,
left of it out of Jeff
9,
Lewis.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drawing number 14, Jeremy V.
Perhaps the man who might be the hungriest out of all the athletes we've seen
Ladies
so far,
and gentlemen,
Jeremy V.
Jacey North and Jeff Lewis have both been eliminated.
And Jacey North, I think, purposely sacrificed himself in order to keep going at Jeff Lewis. Talk about a man on a mission. Not quite the mission of the World TV title, but hell.
Well, North did it to prevent Lewis from getting that opportunity, and anything he can do to cause misery in the life of Jeff Lewis, he's happy with. But now Jeremy V, the next participant in the ring, one of the odds-on favorites here from a standpoint of he's a guy that'll never give up. But you gotta look at the rules of a battle royal. A guy the size of Jeremy V is really at a disadvantage because the big guy, the guy with the big center of gravity like Adryan, is your favorite because it's gonna be harder to dump him over the top. But don't ever discount the fighting spirit of Jeremy V. There's a VKO on Adryan in the corner. He pinned Jason Cross 2 weeks ago on Wildside. Who thought
10,
he could do that?
9, 8, 7,
That's true to
6,
Franklin. I'm sure Adryan
5,
is
4,
probably his first
3,
and foremost mission is
2,
to make sure that
1.
Jeremy V does not progress any further in this.
Participant 15, Drew Blood.
And Drew Blood coming out to the strains of Duran Duran. He's got a lot of nerve, I'll tell you. And Drew Blood now putting the boots to Jeremy V, accompanied by Jason Blackman. Mikael Adryan, boy, he's had to endure some major punishment from V. And Gabriel trying to gather what few wits he has left. V fighting back for all he's worth, and we know that's plenty. Very clever on the part of V.
Drew Blood sneaking in the neck breaker there.
Drew Blood finding himself to be a bit of a dark horse among the athletes in the ring at the moment.
He's definitely hungry.
But stranger things have happened in professional wrestling.
To talk about the size disadvantage that V has, what about Drew Blood? What about that spine buster there by Jason Blackman?
I think it busted up the back of the head
10,
of Jeremy V just as much as it did the spine.
8, 7,
you see V's head
6,
go bouncing off the
5,
mat.
4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is BioHazard.
And BioHazard, a man who's showed so much improvement over the span of the last few weeks here at NWA Wildside, is getting an opportunity to show a lot of improvement on quite a number of athletes. And BioHazard importing a lot of his fans here tonight.
He's a guy that the people are really starting to get behind. And how can you blame him? He's shown tremendous effort week in and week out, win or lose. This guy comes here to fight, and he gives it everything he's got.
Good, he's going to need it here tonight.
People can identify with a guy like that. And BioHazard, really a great, tremendous up-and-comer. What an opportunity it is here for him tonight.
And Jason Blackman with a handspring elbow on Jeremy V and a high knee.
10,
And
9,
V is rocking.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Mikael Adryan
2,
committed to doing some more
1.
damage to Gabriel before perhaps throwing him over that top rope.
Drawing number 17, Cool Seth Delay.
And Seth Delay just dumps BioHazard out. BioHazard, unfortunately, making the rookie mistake of not
Ladies and
paying
gentlemen,
attention.
Drew Blood has been eliminated, as has BioHazard.
Never turn your back in a battle royal facing the ropes. But let's look at the statistics in here, Steve, right now. As far as time, Mikael Adryan has to be in here the longest. He was the earliest man surviving at this rate. Gabriel the second longest, and it's Gabriel that's taken the most punishment, but still fighting back against Seth Delay.
Well, Gabriel's been in there for quite some time, as has now Jeremy V. And Seth Delay, easily the freshest man here, but Gabriel fighting back for all he's worth. And a swift kick from Cool Seth Delay as Adryan shooing Delay away.
10,
And
9,
Delay keeping Adryan from his
7,
job, his purpose
6,
here tonight.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, participant number 18 is unrated Salvatore Rinauro.
match is suddenly headed south. And Salvatore Rinauro showing that he's no fluke with a forearm leveling the Archangel Gabriel, and now Rinauro paying his attention to Jeremy V.
Rinauro actually getting off of his butt and wrestling for once.
It's come to this, huh?
A rarity these days, but wouldn't be in this matchup if he didn't have an agenda. Maybe he feels that the old two is better than one motto. Maybe the two guys that totally rule, or the former G-rated, or whatever the hell it is that he's calling themselves these days. Maybe the teamwork is the key. Maybe they're going to try to co-become #1 contender. What do you think of that?
Well, based on the fact the other members of the matchup at this moment are
10,
Jeremy V,
9,
as well as Jason
8,
Blackman, Gabriel,
7,
and Mikael Adryan.
6,
I think the issue
5,
of the reunited G-rated is it might be a
3,
moot point.
2,
Forgive me.
1.
I'm not playing favorites here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Gordy.
And Ray Gordy has certainly changed the complexion of this Mega Rumble. And Salvatore Rinauro now going after his former hire, Ray Gordy, and accompanied by Seth DeLay.
A lot of bad blood still there. Gordy has not even come close to forgiving Rinauro for that whole escapade. Oh, whirly bird there by Jason Blackman.
Hey, I tell you, I think about the most impressive outfit we've seen so far in this Mega Rumble. The most impressive effort, I think, comes from Jason Blackman. And he's not the man that most people would have guessed.
He's certainly been fighting his heart out here.
Yeah.
You got to give it to Gabriel, though, for taking as much punishment as he
10,
has and still
9,
being in the
8,
match.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drawing lucky #20, Caprice Coleman.
Now, obviously, Caprice Coleman is obviously going to be one of Mikael Adryan's other main targets to be wiped out here, so he's not put any contention with Jason Cross for the World TV title. But with all the, oh goodness, Caprice Coleman with an enziguri, dropping Jason Blackman like the proverbial bad habit.
Rinauro thumps Coleman in the eye there. Off the ropes, high back body drop. Rinauro goes down. We got Blackman and Gordy brawling over here. There's a twisting fisherman's buster by Gordy. Seth DeLay on the cusp of elimination here.
But DeLay holding on for dear life to that top rope. And getting his body tangled up within the ropes too, saving his. Blackman hanging on and putting a swift kick to the face of Ray Gordy. When Ray Gordy came so dangerously close to being eliminated right there, I think Blackman thinks that Gordy is eliminated. And unfortunately,
Jason Blackman has been eliminated.
And so Rinauro from behind.
Gordy has been eliminated from the Mega Rumble.
Robbed Ray Gordy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Archangel Gabriel and the one-man mafia, Mikael Adryan, have also been eliminated.
Well, Gabriel sacrificed himself right there. Gabriel sacrificed himself. It was Adryan put in the match specifically to eliminate the guys that the Elite had to hit out on. Gabriel was one of them. Coleman and Jeremy V were the other. Gabriel very close with Coleman and V. He took the hit for his friends there. He got Mikael Adryan out of the match. The biggest threat to Caprice Coleman and Jeremy V. Now Jeff G. Bailey, the entire threat of the next #1 contender is in the hands against him of G-rated. Salvatore Rinauro, cool Seth DeLay. It's up to them to protect Jason Cross's World Television Championship.
So you mean that Jeff G. Bailey needs a new pair of underwear right now?
Definitely.
Well, that's quite interesting here, because now Jason Cross has got to be an awful bit concerned here, too. Boy, and cool Seth DeLay, whoa! Came within centimeters of being eliminated. And Caprice Coleman hanging on also for dear life.
Coleman skins the cat.
Cool Seth DeLay has been eliminated. Mars has unrated Salvatore Rinauro. Remember, the rules change now. It is a standard singles one-on-one matchup, pinfall and submission rules.
And that's Jeremy V versus Caprice Coleman. Jeremy V at one time made the World TV champion Rain Man tap out in the War Games. Caprice Coleman, a former World TV champion himself, a man who wants that title back probably more than anything on this planet.
And here we go. Fate has brought them here. Their abilities will carry them beyond this. Jeremy V, Caprice Ice Coleman, two very close friends, two men that would take a bullet for one another, but now the #1 contendership is at stake. They know what's at stake. They're going to compete for it. May the best man win.
And the best man between these two people, well, it's anyone's guess. Neither of these two athletes has any distinct advantage that we know of going into this matchup. The only thing I might consider perhaps might be in Caprice Coleman's favor is that Jeremy V's been involved in this Mega Rumble for a longer period of time. What damage has been done during that time is only up to Jeremy V.
Definitely, and if you look in the past at the high-profile marquee matches, Jeremy V's won his share, but he's also been defeated in many key points, so is Coleman. So they're very even there. One would probably favor Coleman just because he has officially been World Television Champion. That's something that V has not. Coleman very hungry because he's been robbed out of that title time and time again. V very hungry because he was also robbed out of it. You look back last year, he was the uncrowned television champion. He beat Rayman in a cage match at a non-televised event, and the tape mysteriously disappeared. Therefore, the ruling was overturned. It wasn't airable on television, couldn't be a TV title match. Northern Lights suplex there by Caprice Coleman. He hangs on, brings V back up, takes him back over again in rotation. Look at the agility by Coleman, rolls back through again, but V is fighting, trying out of this. Wait a minute, inside cradle, here we go. Reversal 2.
Opportunities and great luck can change within 3 seconds, as we've seen innumerable number of times here at NWA Wildside. As two of the classic Wildside athletes, two of the most gifted men who've ever walked down the ramp of the NWA arena are competing for #1 contendership to the World TV Champion.
And there's the elevated flatliner, high impact maneuver. And a big coup for Coleman this early in the matchup. Coleman hooks the legs. V shoulder up at the last second.
Last possible fraction of a second there too. Now Jeremy V has seriously been slowed down by Caprice Ice Coleman, as well as other damage he's been leveled against him. Previously on in this 20-man Mega Rumble, now it is a traditional pro wrestling matchup. Coleman on top for the pin attempt, only a 2 count. V fighting back. The crowd evenly split between their devotions to these two athletes. I think the throng here at the NWA Arena would be delighted if either of these two athletes would become #1 contender, no doubt about it.
Definitely. Jeremy V, there's the VDT. It's what he pinned Jason Cross with 2 weeks ago. Early in the contest, though, for Coleman, and he knows it. Jeremy V's gonna try to add a little topping onto that pizza. Going to the top.
V heading up to the top rope, did it somewhat slowly.
Goes for his 450 splash, the flying V. He does nail it.
V, that's a very, very great name for that. One of the classic guitars and one of the now classic wrestling moves in professional wrestling in the year 2004. Unfortunately for Jeremy V, Caprice Coleman got his knees up in time. Since the amount of time that Jeremy V took to pull that one off was in Coleman's favor, obviously.
Coleman going for thermal shock here. No. Thinks different, goes for the comatose here. Now, if he drops V on his head, this is the end here. No, V rolls through. Sunset flip. He's got it. V wins.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, and now the new #1 contender to the World Television Championship, Jeremy V.
An incredible accomplishment from V. And par from
Oh,
the course.
no, damn
Here
it.
comes the NWA Elite.
Come on.
What Mikael Adryan was sent into this Mega Rumble to do, he was not able to accomplish. So perhaps they can accomplish it after the match is over.
There's the assisted suicide on Coleman. Now, come on.
And Cross just brainbustered Jeremy V. And Jeff G. Bailey responds with a slap too. I mean, Caprice Coleman now no longer in the World TV title picture. Good heavens! Here comes Gabriel with a chair and the